where he announces all these firings and resignations of all these senior people, including his chief of staff, Bob Haldeman. And then after that speech, he goes back to his office and he calls Haldeman again. Haldeman's gone now. He's resigned, but he calls Haldeman again to talk to him about, hey, how'd I do in the speech? And that call is the famous keep the faith conversation between Richard Nixon and Bob Haldeman, who he has just forced out of office and effectively blamed for Watergate. Here's that conversation.
Hello.
Hi.
Hope I didn't let you down.
No, sir. You got your points over, and now you got it set right and move on. You're right where you ought to be.
Well, it's a tough thing, Bob, for you, for John, the rest, but goddamn it, I'm never going to discuss this son of a bitching Watergate thing again. Never, 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 never. But you agree?
Yes, sir. You've done it now, and you've laid out your position.
But let me say, you're a strong man, God damn it, and I love you. And I love John, all the rest, and by God, keep the faith. Keep the faith. You're going to win this son of a bitch.
Absolutely.
God bless you, boy.
Okay.
God bless you. I love you, you know.
Okay.
Like my brother.
I will.
All right, boy.
Go on and up from
Keep the faith.
Right.
Keep the faith, Bob. Keep the faith. I love you, man. I love you, but by God, keep the faith. Did I mention you should keep the faith? Don't you flip on me. I'm doing everything I can. I love you. Keep the faith. All right, so that's from the Oval Office tapes. But that day, that's the day that Haldeman gets forced out, right? That's also the last diary entry that Haldeman spoke into his little audio recorder as White House Chief of Staff. And we know from him quite accurately recounting that conversation that he had with Nixon, quite accurately recounting that conversation into his own diary. We know from Haldeman's perspective that Nixon's whole keep the faith admonition, that sunk in as intended.
I said, well, you've got it behind you now, and you should approach it that way. And he said it was a very tough thing. I'll never mention it again. Then he got feeling sorry for himself. He said to me, you're a strong man. You got to keep the faith. You're going to win this. God bless you. He said again, keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Keep the faith. That is how Nixon left it with his chief of staff, who was up to here in Watergate, who knew everything about Watergate, and who he forced out.